Hey guys, my name is Ryan and welcome to Overwatch Central. The support category is really competitive and lots of players just main the support heroes, right? I played a lot of Ana last season and Lord knows it didn't go well with the amount of good Doomfists or Sombras in my games. It made me want to pull my hair out and Lord knows I don't have much of that left. So I thought I'd sit down with the pro player Daiya, who is a top 500 Ana Zenyatta main, who was originally part of the 12-man roster for Team UK and also a substitute player for We Have Org as they got promoted into Contenders EU Season 3. We're going to sit down with him, get some tips on playing against Doomfists and Sombras and ultimately how you can win and climb on this hero. You can find all of his details in the description below, but let's get started. So before we go over the tips for supports for Season 13, who are you and why should people listen to you when it comes to playing that flex support role?
Hello, I'm Daiya. I am part of the UK World Cup team, the 12-man roster. I am Boombox's substitute, so if he was unable to play or attend BlizzCon, I would be going in his stead and playing on the stage. I reached top 20 on EU ladder this season playing Ana. I had a 71% win rate when I reached that peak, so I think I'm pretty decent at Ana and able and qualified to give advice and tips on support especially.
And I guess that goes over the first one. We are in a meta where heroes like Doomfist and Sombra are really popular. What kind of tips do you have playing against them? Starting with whichever one that you want to first.
I think the first tip I have is versus Doomfists that like to go for like these big aerial rollouts. You know, the one where they just like come up the sky, slam you and one-shot you and you're just left confused like what happened. I think playing inside buildings with roofs against that playstyle is very strong because it means the Doomfist can't reach you if he goes for an aerial rollout like that, and he'll have to change the way he's playing in order to reach you. And even then, the only way he can reach you is basically by moving in a straight line into the door by rocket punching or slamming or using a slam ability. And this makes them way easier to hit and way more CCable by something like Sleep Dart and Lucio Boops. And as long as you're able to keep sight of your team while healing them with Ana, it doesn't really put you at any disadvantage and makes you more safe from just being flanked in the air by a Doomfist.
Sounds like it'd make you safe from any other hero, really. Like if they have a Wrecking Ball, a Winston or Diva that wants to jump on you. Would you say that in general that's just a really good tip to have? Use the indoors a bit more?
It's also a good tip versus Pharah as well, because she can't easily access you if there's a roof over your head. So it's a good tip for versus Pharah as well. Versus Dive, you generally don't want to be too isolated indoors from your team, because if you get jumped on by a Winston indoors and your team's not able to help you, you'll be isolated and a bubble will cover. The Winston's bubble will cover the entrance, so your team really can't help you. So I think, I don't think it's specifically good in all situations, but versus Doomfist and Pharahs that rely on the air, I think it's a good way to position yourself.
Speaking of Doomfist, what other tips do you have going up against him? Because he is quite difficult if you're playing something like an Ana.
Playing against Doomfist really comes down to your consistency as an Ana player, how consistently you can hit a Sleep Dart. His most vulnerable state is when he's doing his Seismic Slam, his E ability, because his movement is locked. When he's in that ability, he is locked. He can only turn, and that's the only movement he can do while he's doing it. He can't cancel it, he can't get out of it. Which means if you've saved your Sleep Dart for this ability, you should be able to consistently hit sleeps on him, which will disrupt his flow and give your team a chance to kill him and stop you from dying. Trying to sleep him when he has all his abilities up can be pretty difficult because he can move unpredictably because his abilities make him travel really quickly. His uppercut is really quick, and usually when a Doomfist uppercuts, they're not just going to stay floating in the air, they're going to follow up immediately with a slam or a punch, which makes it kind of unpredictable and hard to sleep dart. And generally with Sleep Dart, to maximise your consistency, you need to save it for when an enemy is most vulnerable after they've used cooldowns or they're in a specific animation of an ability. That's very predictable.
The thing about playing Ana against Doomfist is that one-shot kill, right? There's so little that you can do if he gets his right click off on you. So what tips or mistakes do you see people making when it comes to how they interact with that ability especially?
Against Rocket Punch, the main thing you can do is position yourself and be aware of the geometry behind you. So this just comes down to like an awareness of the map you're playing on. So if you get Rocket Punch, you generally don't want to be standing too close to a wall that's behind you, or you will get one shot. Because if you get rocket punched and there's no wall behind you, you'll still have about half HP left, which means you have a chance to react and stop the Doomfist. Because if the Doomfist goes for a rocket punch on you, like as his first move, and he doesn't kill you with it, he only has one other option. He's going to try and slam you or just shoot at you, and both times that can equal an easy sleep dart. But you will be low HP. You will be low HP after a rocket punch, because it does 150 even without any impact, I believe. And if you're playing Ana, you'll be about 50 health, so you'll need help from your team, like healing from your second support. But if he fails that, he is quite easy to kill out of that.
How about versus Sombra then? I don't feel that Sombra is as awkward to deal with as Doomfist, but certainly if she gets the hack on you, you will have very little to deal with her. So what kind of advice would you have for not only keeping yourself alive, but the rest of your team too? Because she can do a lot of damage, especially with that ultimate.
I think the most important tip for Sombra is hiding from EMP, and this is really crucial when you're playing Zenyatta or Lucio, both of which are pretty common in the meta. Zenyatta not so much, but we have seen plenty of Zenyatta from the McCree comp, the Zen Lucio Brigitte dive with McCree comp. So Zen's pretty prevalent there. So you want to hide from EMP in like behind a wall or somewhere where the Sombra isn't, because Sombra wants to EMP the most people possible, right? That's generally what they want to do. They want to get the most people possible. So if you hide from your team and put yourself out of line of sight with the Sombra, and then she'll EMP, and then you'll be able to use your defensive ult like a Beast or a Transcendence to keep your team alive through the EMP, because that's when the enemy team's going to engage. Because if you get EMP'd while you have those defensive ults up, and the rest of your team does too, you'll probably lose that fight.
And finally, we have had a focus on, Doomfist and Sombra especially. What about the other just overall games? Going up against a good Genji or a Tracer, like, what can people do regardless of the meta that they're in? What kind of tip transcends all of that?
Communication, I think communication does. Playing support, especially, is a very communication heavy role. You need to communicate with your other support so they can help you. Communicate with your team. Depending on what comp you're running, the team could be very peel oriented, and this means that communication is probably the most important thing, especially in rank. There isn't a lot of communication in team play, so having that communication to have your team help you and peel for you can give you a big advantage over another team you're facing which might not have that, and it maximizes your chances of living in any situation. So I know some people are voice shy, but if you really want to maximize your chances of winning, you need to communicate flankers, especially, if nothing else.
And definitely, so this is just a nice quick video of some tips. Any final things that you really want to go over and highlight? Not so much as a tip, but just emotional support for any support players that maybe want to climb out of gold for the first time with Ana?
Just grind your mechanics a lot. If you grind your mechanics a lot, you'll hit more shots, you'll be able to get more effective antis and sleeps that will really impact your games. Ana is probably the most powerful support in the game right now. The stats reflect this, her win rate, her pick rate at high ranks. She is very strong, and when used properly, you can have an immense impact on the game. It just requires a lot of grinding to have the mechanics for it, and to have the game sense and discipline with your abilities to maximise your effectiveness in a game.
And where can people find more from you online if they want to check you out?
Well, I'm on Twitter at DaiyaOW. My Twitch is also the same, where I stream most weekdays at DaiyaOW. And I also have a YouTube you can find, which is DaiyaOW again. I put content out there like montages, VOD reviews, stream highlights. And with the coming off season, I'm especially looking for more people to submit VOD reviews, and also more people to join in for viewer games for fun during the off season, since there'll be no competitive, and those will be live streams on my Twitch.
And that's it for this time. Thank you very much for watching. You can find all the Daiya stuff in the description below, and do let me know how you're going to get on in season 13. Thanks for watching, take care, we'll see you then.